the worst thing for me was being away from my kids. Um, some of the some of the perks for me was that from Middle East, I was able to travel all over the place in that area. Like I would go to Southeast Asia a lot. You could go to Europe, it's closer than from here. You could go, like, people would just go and travel and have these awesome vacations around that area. Or you could go to like Bahrain, or you could go to like um what's the UAE, or um you know, all those little places around there that are really nice. So it's not all bad. Tariq, my man Tariq, he says, so do you feel that most contract jobs will be cut or federal? No, I don't think that most contract jobs. I think that they'll propose. This is just my take on it, having done this for a while. I think that they will propose a gigantic, crazy cuts. Like, I think that they're gonna get Elon Musk in there, and he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna cut." he's gonna It's gonna be very entertaining. He's gonna be like, "I'm gonna cut this and that," and by the time they're done, they have to do it, right? It's not. This is not Tesla. This is not X. This is not. This is the government, right? It works totally different. So, and a lot of like business guys don't realize that, right? And there's a reason why. It's huge. It's $1 trillion enterprise. It's not a billions. It's trillions of dollars dealing with infrastructure that is people's livelihoods, and life is literally dependent on the water that we're drinking, right? The EPA is measuring the contents of our water in all 50 states across hundreds of different counties. Right. It's a huge it's not Tesla, right? As big and awesome as Tesla and SpaceX is, this is the US government. This is the one of the most powerful industries that has ever lived on planet Earth. This is not a small company that's going to be gone in 30, 40, 50 years. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's probably going to be around for hundreds more years. So this is not right. So I think that they're going to make some proposals to cut a whole bunch of jobs. um Government jobs, actual government jobs, GS positions. That's what I think. They're going to try to restructure it, and I think it's going to take years to do that. And then contracts will be affected because they'll be like, we're going to cut this. And then they're going to be like, oh, okay, it's going to take us 2 years to cut all these things, because you can't just immediately cut it. There's some um story I heard about how Elon came into X, right? And actually, you know what? Right before you think I'm some kind of Elon hater or something, I love SpaceX. I love Tesla. I love some of the other awesome stuff he's doing. Some of the other shit's crazy, like Neuralink's pretty crazy. Like, I don't know where that's gonna go. That's some sci-fi shit that I'm very intrigued, but it sounds like it's gonna be some horror movie stuff. So I have a mixed feeling about Elon, but I heard this story about him where he said he comes into Twitter, and it's about to turn to X, and he says on a meeting, says, I cut everything, this whole server room from California, right? And they say, well, sir, it's gonna take 3 weeks to do it. It's gonna take this and that because we don't have the manpower. We got to fly over there. We need this and that, right? Like real logistics, they're telling him. And he's like, bullshit. I want it done now, overnight. And they're like, no. And then as soon as they said no, he fired him. And then this is the story. I don't know how much of this is true. He flew there overnight and did it himself. He cut the wires. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure like what really happened. All I know is can confirm that he made a lot of quick changes at Twitter. I don't know that all of them were great. But I'm not a Twitter user. You'd have to ask somebody who's on Twitter all the time. I never did like Twitter, even when that Jack Dorsey was in there. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I'm on there and there's just a bunch of trolls and porn, and I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So, my point is the government's a lot different. And as soon as they try to make these changes, to be honest with you, it's gonna take months, or no, not months, years to make these changes. By the time they can actually make the changes, there'll be another election. And then if he wins the next term, they'll be able to kill all of implement all the stuff. The first term will be them actually coming up with the plan and then saying we're going to do it, doing the executive order, getting that passed through the all conservative uh, legislation, right? Because they can do that. That'll be fast. But the hard part will be actual implementation, because they'll have to terminate all those jobs and figure out what it's going to affect. Now, if they're extremely um, reckless, they do it within the first term, and I don't think it won't go well. I just don't think it'll go well. There's too many things that are dependent on the Department of Education, the EPA. There's just too many things wrapped into it to where you could just cut it in 4 years. It's going to take 2 terms at least to cut all this stuff. Can they do it? Yes, they can. But will they do it? If they're extremely irresponsible, then yes, they will. Larry says, my retort to the diminishing of the educational requirements is that there is more learned in education than just book knowledge. Yeah, that's true. I work a lot with a lot of people who have no soft skills and poor writing skills. Yeah, there's some good and bad to getting rid of the educational requirement. And for me, I'm not saying get rid of it.